Staying ahead as a founder means cutting through all of the noise and finding that signal that actually makes a difference to you and your business. I'm Laura Elliott. I'm a journalist turned tech founder, and these are the stories that stopped my scroll this week and reading between the lines what they mean for you. First up, I'm so glad that 20 trees died so I could be spared the burden of deciding what $12 latte I need to buy. Starbucks released a beta tool through ChatGPT that helps users decide what coffee they want based on their preferences, the weather, even their outfit. For me personally, I don't need an AI to help me decide what drink I want, but what I do want is an AI that will automatically place my coffee order the second my alarm goes off and then have that coffee delivered to my house, hotel room, or ready for pickup at my nearest Starbucks. Now that kind of thing is in agentic AI territory. We've definitely broken out of the chatbot for something like that. And I'm slightly critical of this because at my company, we work with augmented and virtual reality, and the bar of what gets to go into AR or VR is pretty high. And I think for some things, we really need a similar bar for AI. Not everything needs to be a GPT. It's the stuff that's worth the energy burned, the people's time, the tokens used. And a coffee just doesn't quite cut it for me, but if you feel differently, let me know in the comments. I know you will. And then we have to talk about how $5 million is actually the least interesting number that came out of this article. Cody Sanchez raised $5 million from Tinder and Coinbase founders through private equity to expand her business buying platform called BizScout. So BizScout has 150,000 active users, one of which is me because my company buys businesses. And last I checked, it had just shy of 20,000 listings. And according to the article, they successfully closed 220 deals in 18 months. For any one business or one person, 220 deals is a lot. That's about 12 businesses sold each month. But when you break down those numbers, those conversion rates are terrible. That's 1% of businesses listed actually sold. This has nothing to do with the platform or the founder. This just says something about the state of small business mergers and acquisitions. Cody and BizScout have the richest possible deal flow. They have a dedicated platform, that's BizScout. Cody has more than 2 million people in her audience, and they have $5 million in funding to go make this happen. And still, we only get 1% of businesses selling and actually transacting. So if you are considering buying a business as a revenue stream, or if you have a business that you'd like to sell one day as a way to generate wealth, I would look at this and really pay attention to the numbers that matter, because they aren't great. It can take years, actual years, to get your business into a place where it is ready to be listed for sale and actually transfer ownership to someone else. And there's no fairy godmother buyer out there with a pocket full of cash waiting for your business to be listed on the market so they can throw money at you and fund your fantastic retirement. And I know that sounds crazy, but that is the mentality of a lot of people that go to sell their business. Anyway, if you have ever thought about selling your business or buying a business and have questions, let me know. Small business M&A is something I love talking about. Behavior like this is how you can tell if AI is actually being used in the business and is actually making a difference. This article on Claude Code by Jessica Watchell perfectly captures how teams are thinking differently about business operations now. So we develop software, and the economics of a feature, so how much is this going to cost to develop, and then what added value or ROI could this feature potentially have, has been completely turned on its head. It's caused us to reprioritize our entire backlog of work because now it's suddenly cheaper or almost no cost to build certain things. Not everything, but certain things. How this practically looks is we're splitting the work between work that a human has to do, so like a human to-do list, and something that an AI can do running in the background, so like a human on the loop to-do list. Now, nothing we do is fully agentic yet. We still need a human in there prompting and checking and QAing. We're building a lot of first of its kind stuff. If you're at a small business, you have probably seen this too. But if you aren't at a small business and you work for a bigger corporation, are the decision makers, the leaders, you yourself, changing the way you work? Has it made you reprioritize work in any way? And like I said last week, we are thinking of setting up a live co-working session where our engineering team will teach you how to properly prompt during your vibe coding so you end up with a stronger, more usable MVP. And if you're interested in that, I will leave the survey linked below. We're voting on days and times. Then once that's set, I will send out invite through email. We hope to see you there. And then, is Anthropic making us rewrite all of our software, or is this just a PR stunt? Anthropic reported that their latest model, Mythos, can autonomously identify and then exploit previously unknown or zero-day vulnerabilities in every major operating system and every major web browser when instructed to do so. So this capability is allegedly so dangerous that they held back releasing the model publicly, and instead they went and gave Mythos preview to pretty much all of the major tech providers, so like the Googles and the Apples, everyone that isn't OpenAI, Meta, or the US government. They did this so that they can use it to find vulnerabilities in their system and patch them before they release this to the public. And what seemed to catch the attention of cybersecurity experts here is that the vulnerabilities that Mythos allegedly uncovered were decades old, meaning human experts had missed them for a very long time. Since most of us aren't responsible for managing and maintaining infrastructure level software, what do we need to do if this is real and not a PR stunt from Anthropic? So some of the practical things: you can turn on automatic updates for operating systems, your browsers, like whatever you're using to browse the web, any major software you use. And if this does turn out to be as dire as Anthropic is implying, you can expect more critical patch, update this now notifications and security advisories from Microsoft, Apple, Google, your firewall vendor. Definitely don't do what I do most of the time, which is like, yeah, schedule this update for later, just update it when it comes in. And it's never a bad idea to keep multi-factor authentication and basic security hygiene a non-negotiable at your business, company, household, wherever you tech. One disclosure: we were only able to verify that Mythos found that 27-year-old bug in OpenBSD, which has since been patched. It doesn't mean that the other vulnerabilities that they claim to have found are false, but no one has publicly stepped up and been like, yes, that was found and now it's fixed. This could be for security reasons, or it could be something else. We will know more soon. And then Amazon bought a bunch of smart glasses, but not the kind you're used to seeing. So Amazon expanded their Vuzix smart glasses deployment for their North American warehouses. Vuzix is known for their lightweight and very robust heads-up display. It clips onto your safety glasses or hard hat. You can even put it on a baseball cap. And while it can look kind of weird, it's not surprising that Amazon is leaning into this particular type of smart glasses. In a warehouse environment, which is where they're deploying these, it's probably a lot safer to have something like a little heads-up display or pair of smart glasses on rather than having a tablet, an iPad, a binder, or a phone in your hand. And I know this because I saw this for myself when I was a field engineer on energy infrastructure projects. I would have to go out into the field and like climb up the side of a cooling tower. And I can tell you, it is a lot easier to do that when you don't have an iPad in your hands or a backpack full of paper drawings and checklists. This caught my attention because it's one of the examples of extended reality technology being used outside of gaming and in an enterprise environment that's helping make workers' jobs safer and easier. That's all for this week. If you found this interesting, helpful, entertaining, let me know by liking and subscribing to the Becoming Dauntless newsletter, or you can subscribe here on the channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.